everyone. Welcome back to The Journey. We're coming to you live from our homes all across America to your screen on YouTube. And if you've been joining us from episode 1, 2, and now 3, thank you so much for staying in tune with us and all that we've been doing. So we've been here every second and fourth Wednesday holding conversations with people who are making an impact in their communities through entrepreneurship. So we dive into their stories and talk about not only their triumphs, but also the challenges that they've had to overcome. And it's been really interesting to see how people grow through these challenges in different industries. It's really been a great opportunity for us to connect and share information with you so that you can take that information and drive it into whatever dreams that you have. So it's been really good so far. We've had such a wide range of industries, for example, mental health, makeup and beauty space. And we have yet another industry, a guest from another industry that will be joining us, and we'll get into, what they do. And I'm really excited about this conversation. So again, The Journey Live is brought to you by Spirit of Praise Ministry Atlanta, affectionately known as SOP. If you are on the SOP page, please show us some love right here on YouTube. Put a comment down below. Give us a shout out. Give a shout out to whatever your city you're watching from, for example, or even tell us what you're doing while you're watching. Yes. Also, get comfortable, get yourself some tea or a beverage of your choice and come and join us in this conversation. Oh, you got your tea this time, Rich?
Yes, I got it this time.
Yeah, I stay ready with some tea.
It's good to see you again, Vanessa.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
Journey trip. And I can't wait to dive into our next guest for episode 3 today, man. And it's a good thing that we both know him. I remember the first time I did meet him was a couple of years ago, and I think we were singing up in Jersey. That's the first time I met our guest. Yeah. So it's gonna be fun talking about his journey. All right. Mm-hmm. So so we're just gonna go straight into it. Today's guest is Jonathan Dexter Albert. He's a photographer. He's also a filmmaker, and also he's a musician too. He plays the bass guitar. Yeah. So we're just gonna give you a brief history on Dexter, as he puts it out. Dexterity Productions. That's the name of his company. Skill in performing tasks with your hands. The story behind the name of the photography business. He plays the bass, and his real name is Dexter. Okay. And he said that his creative life began when he was at a very young age. He grew up with 2 sisters, and often he would compete with his older sister in drawings and writing short stories. Many years later, he was at an event and he saw a bass player playing the bass and immediately fell in love with it. His father, seeing that he was very interested in that instrument, purchased a bass and an amp for him the following week. That was really the beginning of him realizing the niche of picking up on details musically and using also on different creative avenues that he likes. Photography, he says, has always been an inspiration for him. Okay, and he never had his own camera. Okay. So for him to finally put those pieces together was a great thing for him. So photography has evolved into a love of fashion photography specifically, and also filmmaking. He said he hopes to break into the fashion world as one of the many great fashion photographers that people will want to shoot with, and develop his own style that people can recognize in his photos, films, without even knowing that he made it. So
that's really cool.
That's really, really, really cool that he already has it in mind that, I'm going to be different, because in this world that we live in, fashion, everything, and with the amount of photographers that we have out there and filmmakers that we have out there, you have to be able to stand out. You have to be able to stick out from the crowd. And for him to already have that vision in mind, that's a wonderful thing. Yeah. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Jonathan. Hey. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, y'all?
Awesome. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. I'm
Oh, of
flattered.
course.
It's my pleasure.
Awesome. We know that you've been extremely busy.
Yes.
So the fact that you can carve out some time to have this conversation with us and just contribute to our community, I think is amazing. And thank you so much for doing that.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. So we're going to have some conversation with you and ask you a few questions, get to know you and your business, how you got into this. We want to go back all the way to the beginning and then end up to where you are now, because I often find that when people have businesses or pursuits that are doing well, all we see is like the finished product, right? We don't know like the backstory. And that's the part that's really inspiring for people who are trying to get to where you are. Okay. So tell the people about yourself. Like, for example, where are you from, your ethnicity, and just give us like a brief synopsis.
Cool. So I'm born and raised in New Jersey, and then both my parents are Haitian. But I was born here, so I'm American, of course. Yeah, gotta represent. And yeah, so I grew up in Jersey, and I've basically been here all my life. And I went to school here, and then I ended up going to school at King University, where I went for health information management. And the story behind that is, I ended up in a major that it was really my parents that kind of pushed me in that direction, because I was always into the arts, and at that time I had already fallen in love with music, but my parents, you know how Haitian parents are. They're like, you're not going to school for music.
Yeah.
You're not going to school for fashion. You're not going to school for this. Do this, and then you can go back to school for that. And I think they do that because they feel like maybe if we go for what they say, then we'll just totally forget about I
don't know why they think that. Like, in what world does that make sense?
I know. I mean, it might work for some people, but for me, I did succeed in that career, but I just ended up falling back into the arts. You know what I'm saying? And when I look back at it, I think if I went to school for music, I probably would have discovered the rest of like my artistic loves and interests sooner. You know what I mean? And I probably would have been ahead of the game then. So yeah. And I'm married. I got 3 kids now. And what else? And that's about it. If I'm forgetting it, let me know. I don't.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Gives a good synopsis of who you are as a person.
Yeah, cool.
So going back to the info on your bio, you gave us a little more insight. You went from because I'm looking at a comment somebody already posted: health information management, musician, photography, and filmmaking.
Yeah,
that's 2 different sides of the spectrum.
Oh man, yeah, totally.
So, what was it that came into your mind that like almost like a light bulb moment that said, okay, you know what? Yeah, I know. I understand my parents wanted me to do this. Yes, I'm successful at it, but I still have that itch. I still have the itch for the arts. What made you just say, you know what, I'm gonna go 100% for that?
Like, I don't know if you read that in the bio, but basically, I had taken a photography course in college, but when you're in college and you got that last year and you take those, I forgot what they call those courses, but just the filler courses, just to get
your credits.
Yeah, just to get your credits. So I took a photography class, and I really just did not like it. I think it was the teacher and how he was teaching it.
Right. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it just photography never crossed my mind at all. So I had a career. I was very successful. I was doing well for myself. And I think basically what ended up happening is there was a huge change in our industry. And at the time I was a consultant, and being a consultant is kind of different than being an employee because you have kind of like a lot of responsibility on your own. And there was a new system coming, and they kind of left that responsibility on me. But I was also very busy. And at the same time, I bought a camera with a bonus that I had from work. And basically, I bought the camera because I was trying to start like a YouTube channel, because I saw like there's this famous YouTuber called MKBHD. He's he's a tech YouTuber, and he's amazing at what he does.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
I'm like, yo, if he can do that, I can do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I made 2 videos, and they actually went viral. And I just never shared it on Facebook because I didn't share it on Facebook because there's this thing when you're starting something out, something new. Your friends might not like support you the way you want them to support you.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy. Like I kind of caught on from the very beginning that if you kind of want to start something, just do it and let the people determine what your value is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, I started it and I'm like, I'm onto something here. And then I had my first, I think it was my first child, and then life got busy. And, when people say that YouTubers, oh, they got life easy, it's actually work. It's actually work to shoot these videos and edit them and to be comfortable in front of a camera. It is work. So now I had the camera just kind of sitting around, and basically, I at the time I was working from home, so I was working from home and then just watching YouTube tutorials same time. So just imagine doing it 5 days a week. Yeah, like it
not tech
helps
stuff,
you get through your day. You know what I mean? Helps you get you through your day. But the information was just kind of just sinking in without even really thinking about it. And and then basically like my responsibilities for like getting like being on top of my career was just kind of shifting down the list. And where I was always like, I was always one of the youngest in my department, but always one of the best coders. I started struggling with the new system because I hadn't familiarized myself with it enough. And then I ended up basically getting laid off. And when that happened, it was devastating, but basically, at the time, several people were asking me for shoots. And you asked me about a light bulb moment. The light bulb moment for me with photography was like, I just decided to start my page, and the name Dexterity, I had it in mind for a music studio since I'm a musician first. I always had that name because my goal was always to open up a studio that musicians could pay me to rent, and so that I could be in that music world forever. You know what I'm saying? But then when the photography idea just came to mind, I couldn't think of any other name, so I just used that. Yeah. And then I started sharing my work on Facebook, and then somebody hit me up for her birthday shoot. Was like, hey, I see you you do pictures. I'll pay you to do a photo shoot for me. That was where the light bulb went off. I was like, what? I can get paid for this? You know what I'm saying? And and then the shoot went really well, and what I remember too as well is how she reacted. She said basically I made her feel like she was a model, and she never felt like that before. So, I do reassure people when they're shooting. When
that's big.
Yeah, when you're in front of the camera, really when you're in front of the camera, it brings out every flaw. You know what I'm saying? It really does, and it brings out flaws that the natural eye wouldn't even see. So, I also used to be the type of person that I would see a retouched image. I'm like, yo, that's so fake. But then when I see the images I capture, and I'm like, you know what? I understand why photographers retouch photos. Because, even though it might be slightly different than what the person looks like, but the natural image is also not what the person truly looks like. Because that camera will capture every detail. And we just try to bring it back to something that makes the person happy. You know what I mean? And sometimes you don't have to. The lighting's so good, you don't even have to do anything. You know what I mean?
I think it's really interesting how this isn't something that photography wasn't something that you were actively pursuing, but there were just different hints that this is a direction that you should take. And then the opportunities just presented itself. Just like we were talking about with the previous guest, there's this saying that says your gifts will make room for you. And it seems as if that was what was happening. So I think that's really encouraging for people who are feeling kind of lost or don't know what they want to do, if you just like pay attention, you know, you can like tune into those clues.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, music, I will say, definitely plays a huge part of me being where I am right now. With music, it's just like, you know, you guys are singers. It's that attention to detail of certain notes, certain riffs, certain cadences, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, being trained to pay attention to those micro details when I got into photography, you know, it just kind of transferred over.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also editing videos, like, you know, a lot of my videos, I edit, like I prioritize the music first. So like, even though I might shoot a video and have the story in mind, but I won't start editing until I find that perfect track that I feel like the video. And so, yeah, like, you know, I feel like that crosses over into the art.
That will make or break a video though, because the music will bring out whatever emotion that you're looking for. And there, like, if you look at video side by side, it could be the exact same footage with different music, and it's going to be a totally different vibe for each of them.
Also sticking, being a stickler on your details. Is also a good thing as a photographer, because then you can actually really pinpoint exactly and actually pull the vision of that person. The person say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And you can deliver that for them as well. And then having that attention to detail is also a good thing, because that attracts more people to you. Like, okay, I worked with him before. I can tell my friends, hey, he's very good at what he does. He's going to go ahead and give you exactly what you're looking for. And if there's something that you don't know, he has the knowledge to go ahead and tell you about it. So that's real good.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So tell us about what your very first year of business looked like.
Oh, oh man. The first year was definitely rough. It was rough because it was just so much uncertainty, and as well as like basically like everything I was making, I was kind of like reinvesting into growing the business. And that's very tough to do when you have a family, and then you got your lady there like, yo, where's my money? Like, like, you're telling me you're making money.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in my, like, I'm the type, like, I always think ahead. And, you know, that's not necessarily a good thing, because then you could kind of neglect the present a little bit. But as a business owner, if you're trying to grow, you do have to think in the future. So I'll give you a clear example of right? I've been blessed to be connected to certain people in the industry, because like like you guys mentioned, I was trying to focus on getting into the fashion industry of photography. When I started, I didn't want to be one of those photographers that were just shooting everybody in the forest and the trees and all that stuff. Like, I was like, if I'm gonna do this, it's got to be dope. You know what I mean? It's got to be trendy. Like when I first started, I used to do this thing where I would give people like a business card, and they would take a picture with it. And you know, slowly I kind of stopped doing that until like I shot a few clients, and they like started asking me to do it. And then I realized, wow, they just want to be part of like the culture. That I created, basically. But yeah, I'm losing my train of thought now.
So you were reinvesting all of the proceeds back into your business.
Thank you for getting me back on track. So, so basically, I basically ended up getting connected with this lady called Claire Solmer. She's from Fashion Bomb Daily.
I know her. Well, I don't know her. I know her.
So she runs a huge fashion blog, and I was shooting pictures for her personally. And then she ended up getting this opportunity where she was asked to interview women entrepreneurs, but for Essence magazine. So she had Essence headquarters in New York, and just shoot like these 9 dope upcoming Black entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, and she needed somebody to capture that. So she asked me, because I guess she liked the experiences that she had with me a few times. And at the time I was kind of just starting with video, so I didn't have all the gear that I needed for video, right? And also I didn't know what I should be charging. But
Right.
what I charged, definitely I should have tripled that price. Like, and
I
you
know,
know,
considering the client and
oh my
the
God, yeah, considering
audience.
the
Yeah.
client that she was connected to, and then she
Yeah.
didn't tell me until after the fact. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that before? Like,
Oh,
but basically the money that I charged them that I agreed to do it for them, I basically it was the same amount of money that I needed to buy a professional mic, a professional boom mic to capture everything, and they didn't pay me. It's not like they were going to pay me ahead of time. I basically went and spent that money, which was quite a lot of money, to get the mic just so I can do the job, because
Right.
I knew that if I nailed this,
yeah.
Right.
more
Gonna open
opportunities,
up.
more doors
Yeah.
are going to open up.
That's
And
right.
Yeah.
and lo and behold, that day there was basically there was a young lady that was there, and she, very quiet, very reserved, didn't know who she was, and she so happened to be the daughter of the owner of the Essence magazine, basically.
Oh, okay.
But I still didn't know that when I left that day. It's not until I got like an email like a few weeks later of somebody asking me to shoot for their own brand, which she has her own little brand.
Yeah.
And then you know, she invited me, and then when I showed up to their house, I'm like, well, where am I right now? That's how amazing the house was.
Yeah.
She told me who she was, and yeah, and then from there, like I did several jobs for them, and yeah, it's, you know, and so I did a lot of those type of things where, like, you know, I would, like, you know, I would spend the money before I had it just so I can get the job done. Or
Yeah.
I would invest in certain things just because I knew that it would work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that you were like, because you had a goal, you were just reinvesting in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Very interesting.
So I also noticed that you also are part owner of another business. Can you elaborate a little bit more about how did that corporation
Yeah.
come together?
Basically, you know, as I was doing the photography thing, then I discovered video, and you know, a lot of these cameras nowadays, they do both. So the one camera that I first bought did great photos, but then I just started messing around, like, let me see what this video thing does. And then, you know, I had a friend of mine that basically had just gotten married a year before, and it was going to be their anniversary, and they were going to do some photo shoot. And I guess I might have like posted a few video clips, and they just asked me to come through, capture the shoot. I did that, and it was like my first video that I ever edited, and I enjoyed that process so much.
Right.
You know, that you know, I just fell in love with it. And then I think from there, basically, like, couples started asking me to shoot things for them.
Okay.
And I ended up doing like some type of travel wedding, a few travel weddings that I guess people just could tell that, you know, we approach the storytelling a little bit differently. You know, like we approach it with, like, you know, like a modern vibe, an artistic vibe, but also trying to capture that emotion. And
Yeah.
and then, like, you know, the wedding business came, and you know, I couldn't do it alone because people were like enjoying both my photos and my videos, and they would ask me to do both. I'm like, I can't do both.
Yeah, like you're just one person.
Yeah, I'm just one person, so
Yeah.
I had to find somebody else, and this person was my bro CJ. And you know, the funny thing is, CJ is actually the dude that first of all, he's younger than me, significantly younger than me, and he was doing photography like 5 years before me. And
Oh, wow.
when I picked up the camera, you know, I had questions because I didn't know what to use, and he was the one I would go to and ask questions, and he would just give me,
These
like,
young people, they keep
yeah,
up.
I know, right? And you know, he would
Yeah.
just give me like an answer here and there, and or direct me to where I can find my information, and then basically I just became consumed by it, and now, like, you know, we work together now. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's so a lot of people see the good side. They see the Instagram post, they see, you know, your Facebook post, they see all of that stuff, the end results, right? Because we have a question here. It was like, how did you break the news to your spouse? You know, I mean, how, you know how it is in our community. Like,
Yeah.
How you gonna, as a husband, you're the breadwinner, you know, how you gonna tell your wife, like, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. I'm going into business myself. You know, explain that process as well, because a lot of young people that are looking to become entrepreneurs, they have to understand the hard work that it takes for you to get where you need to get to. A lot of people see the successful people that's out there. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do a YouTube channel too, or I'm gonna pick up the camera and I'm gonna go ahead and shoot too, because I see he did it, so I can do it too. Explain to them the process about, okay, you know what? This is the steps that you're going to have to take. This is the sacrifice sometimes that you're going to have to make to be able to achieve what you already see, the end result of some other people's work.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. Well, first of all, when I, basically, when I lost that job, I kind of just went into I'm the man of the house, so I gotta work. So I didn't really discuss it, you know what I mean, with my wife. But
you brave, man. You brave.
Yeah, wait, you didn't discuss the business that you were doing with your wife?
I mean, she saw me doing it, you know what I mean? She saw me doing it. She just didn't think that I would make it into something that was gonna be like full-time thing.
Gotcha.
So I ended up doing it just because, like, you know, I was looking for other jobs. I was getting contacted by other people, but to be honest, I just really wasn't motivated to go back to that career. So it was kind of like subconsciously, I just decided, look, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna give it 100%. And so, but I will say that lack of discussion did, cause some drama, but I think more importantly, like the struggle of like first starting out when you've never run a business before, is really understanding how to run it. If you haven't been to business school, you know what I mean? If you're not, like, I'm a spender, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not like one of the first type of people that's been like a budgeter, you can kind of like, you could fail in your first few years, you know what I mean? And so like, I had to, like, the struggles I had was like, definitely like, first of all, being contacted by so many people at the same time, it can get overwhelming. That can get very overwhelming, and you'll miss out, like like I missed out on so many emails the first year. That was literally thousands of dollars that I threw out. And I only discovered it when, like, I had a manager at some point, and he was helping me get my stuff together, and he looked at all my emails. He was like, bro, you need to be on top of your emails. And what would happen was, like, people would be like, they would be emailing me, and I would be responding. But, sometimes when you respond to a person and they don't get back to you, then your mind just goes off to something else.
Like you've moved on.
And then I go back to my edit, and then if they respond, I might not catch it, and then 2 days later, I done forgot about the email. You know what I mean? Then months later, you're like, oh shoot, I never answered that person. So I had to get my my organization down. So I ended up like getting a CRM and getting some contracts and getting myself organized. So that I can like better respond to people. And then, the first few years, definitely I was like, like you'll get lost sometimes, like trying to build your business. So you have to like be conscious of your spending, and so that you're not overspending, because you need to try to meet a certain income. You know what I mean? For the year. So this year, that's my third year. I would say this is my third like full year in. That's like my focus this year. And it's definitely working out. But each year I've been doing it, I've definitely been making more money. And so
that's
those are the type of struggles.
So it seems like what you're saying is that you really need to focus on the structure of the business too. Not just like the work and the creative aspect of it, but the structure and that, like the financials and the licensing and all that you have to do. So that's a good tip for you guys that are watching. And actually, we have a question here in the YouTube chat that says, from please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. I think it's Jemima or maybe Jemima. She says, or he, I'm sorry, I don't know. Do you think someone needs to organize the business before launching it and start getting customers?
I would say, I would say that's ideal. That would be like the best. That would totally be the best approach, especially if you're not like really having like a financial urgency. Then take the time to get it organized and then do it. For me, I felt like I had to just get to working. So I just ended up doing the work first. Then I went back and did the organization. So, that is one thing that will cause problems if you're in a relationship, if not discussing it first. So for me, I definitely just went into it and then I just went back and got everything together. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was a challenge that you had to overcome, and
Yeah.
thankfully, things are going well now.
Yeah.
And since you mentioned your support system or family, for example, like your wife, can you talk about your support system right now and what it looks like, and how your support system either contributes to your business, or where there's some areas of support you thought you would get that you didn't get? Because I know that's a discussion amongst entrepreneurs, is that support sometimes cannot look like what they thought it would, or sometimes it would surprise them. So I'm just interested to know about your journey.
Yeah. Yeah. The support, of course, family will support you. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's like a difficult time, they'll have your back if they're truly your family. You know what I'm saying? But I think where the difficulty comes in is with the friends. Or friends, you know what I mean? Like, the friends that you thought, not necessarily close to, but just the people you thought that would be the ones that would be like resharing your business information or your posts aren't going to be those people. You know what I mean? Because they're probably just like, or maybe you're really not that good yet. You know what I mean? Maybe you're really not that good yet, and you have a ways to go. And everybody does when you first start. Like, you typically you don't have it together, or you're just not as good yet as like somebody that's been in the industry for a long time. So it's kind of like they might not share things, and but then you'll just kind of grow. But you'll grow because of the support that you get from like strangers across the United States, because they're showing you love and they're telling you what you could do better, but they're definitely encouraging you. So that's definitely one thing. Like, when I started my Instagram, I was getting people to follow me, and it was a lot of people that I didn't know and that were showing me the love, like, you know what I mean? My friends were really just following just to be nosy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just to see what you have going on.
Yeah, but it's funny, like I'm connected to so many people on Instagram that are filmmakers, and I don't even know them for nothing except through Instagram, and we just like support each other, like, yo, bro, that was great, just have a discussion and all that stuff. So it's definitely a struggle. And those friends, when they see how great you actually become, then of course they're gonna show you that support that they should have showed from the beginning. So
it's so crazy that you say that. Is like, I think our first two guests mentioned something similar to that point where you're getting more support from outside folks than the ones that you expect to get support from. So that's a weird thing. I don't know if it's just a community thing that's like that, or if it's
I don't know why. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, let's discuss that.
Let's get into that.
Maybe
what
you
do
guys
you think is the cause of that?
I don't know. I don't understand why that is, and why like, even to be honest, even like I might find myself doing that. Like, I might, and not even on purpose. Like,
that's
there
real.
might be a friend, that just started like some type of skincare business, and she'll post it, and I ask you to repost it or something like that, and you're like, it's just another skincare business, and you just keep scrolling, what I mean? But that's actually that moment that person needs you to help them, and so sometimes when you see your friends, you got to kind of just take a minute and, like, let me help them, because when I was at that point, I really needed that myself. So, you know, part of it could be too, we're just too busy. You know what I mean? We're just scrolling and we don't like actually, you know, like take them as serious as we should because we're so occupied with other things. So
yeah. And I do feel like also sometimes like in our community, there are certain professions that people take more seriously than others. So it's like when you're pursuing something that's like going against the grain or not in the norm in the community, people kind of just like they want to sit back and watch to see like how it plays out. But the other people outside of your community or outside of your friend circle, like you said, sometimes they can be the people to see the gift in you and see, you know, how you're contributing to that industry more so than your own community. And I just think that's such an interesting thing that happens, especially with like the creative industries. Yeah.
Agree.
Okay. So other question that I have for you is like, the past year has, you know, been rough for a lot of us, and especially a lot of small business owners. How was the past year for you, and were there any challenges that you had to overcome?
The past year for me, it was tough. But you know, if you're a business owner, that comes with responsibilities, and that's knowing like what you should do when times like this come. And you know, the government was definitely offering assistance, and you know, I just made sure I followed through with like, you know, I was just heavy into politics this past year, like more than I've ever been. Like I was
We all were.
I was watching politics more than sports. I used to watch football. I don't even watch football anymore. But so yeah, I was kind of like just on top of like what I should be doing as a business owner, to like get the COVID relief and all that stuff. So I definitely follow up with that, and that definitely helped me. But also the industry I'm in, I think COVID, if you're a filmmaker or somebody that's making video, actually COVID wasn't such a bad thing for you because now everybody needed video, you know, because everybody was home.
Oh yeah,
right.
I didn't even think about that because I was thinking more of like that one-on-one photography session.
Well, the one-on-one photography stuff did definitely like just kind of halted. There were still a few people that were willing to shoot, but for the most part, it halted. It was just mainly video stuff, and really, I was actually doing a lot for my church at one point. And you know, I wasn't asking for any type of payment. I just wanted to help the church. You know what I'm saying? And really, it was just like me just following up with like the government assistance and just making sure I did what I had to do to get me through. So you know, it was actually not that bad, and eventually things started picking back up. So and now it's freaking busy.
So, that's awesome.
That's good. We just want to say thank you for everyone that's joining us. I see a lot of people over there on the chat posting comments and questions. Joanna Pierre, Jemima Civil, Rose Estime. Who else we see? I see well, we call her Lulu. I see Lulu on here.
Lulu, what's up, Lulu?
Lulu, I feel Lulu, you've been here every episode.
Oh yeah, she has been here for every episode. Don't forget to share it.
One thing about Lulu will always support, yo. Lulu,
always.
Yes. Matter of fact, when there was I think it was a time I did reach out to you because I needed some pictures done, but I think it was right around when things were getting a little crazy with COVID, so you couldn't come down. Lulu was
man.
Like, yo, contact Jonathan.
Yeah, I was really planning to come out for my Georgia fam for real, and you know, they're still asking me, and I'm definitely coming. I think it's looking like July. I'm
okay.
So,
you hear that? All those folks that's watching us in Georgia,
I know.
Coming. So you better make sure you book him quick.
July is the time to book the session.
You book him quick because he really busy. He's really busy. So we want to say thank you for everybody that's joining us. Go ahead and continue to post your comments if you have any questions that you want Dexter to answer for you. Just don't forget to also like and share the links with your friends and family so they can get some good tips, especially for those that are interested in becoming entrepreneurs. So let's see, there was another question here, but I think I'm gonna hold that question for a little bit later. There's a question in here that I'm going to that we're going to ask you, but I'm gonna hold that one for a little bit later. Let's see here. Matter of fact, actually, we probably can do it right now. So that
Okay.
question is from, I think it's Sarah Dia Francis.
I think I know her.
My sister.
Okay. So it says, what's your ultimate goal with photography, videography and photography?
So it's funny. I literally was thinking about this like last week and earlier this week, and I thought to myself, like, I have the creative what's the word I'm looking for? The creative motivation to try to be like modern and new age and fresh with fresh ideas. But I feel like, at some point my time will run out. So like, for example, like, as you guys know, I'm a bass player, and I played at my church for a good while, and I definitely motivated and also helped the guys underneath me. One of them happens to be my cousin, who is actually a better bass player than me now, and then he like motivated his brother. So they're like both amazing bass players, and so like me being I'm older now, and I know when I was their age, like playing at church was like what kept me in church. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was probably like the only thing that kept me in church. So
Right.
so now I kind of got to move over to let them, get their time to play. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't play music that much anymore. So now the reason why I mention that is because I feel like at some point I'm gonna reach like a crossroad with photography, and I'm be like, all right, what's next?
Okay.
And so what's next for me, I think, is investments. Like I just wanna own things. So at some point I'm gonna really focus on like saving and investing in properties, and maybe flipping some properties or something like that.
Yeah.
And then just building my, like, I don't even know where I'm gonna go after that, but I just know I just want to build and own certain things, and then I'll figure out like what's the next thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely don't see myself
ever,
the whole time.
do you ever think of using this platform, using your Dexterity Productions to be able to get that into a bigger production type company? Because you're talking about ownership, right? So you're talking about ownership. So being able to fall back from being behind the camera and bringing some future photographers and videographers with you, and putting and using your platform that you're building to put them on. So I think that's something that's exactly what you're talking about, right? Trying to bring in.
That is definitely one of the things, which is actually kind of happening right now.
Right.
Like we're kind of in the middle of like creating a production company where we will like focus on like commercials. That's actually also my next goal. I just want to shoot commercials.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like car commercials, stuff like that. So yeah, that's actually like the step before the first step that I mentioned to you guys. And I do get a lot of people to ask me to work with me. And so, I'm definitely open to that. It's just that I'm always moving. And so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to kind of like just be on top of everybody that asks me. But people do follow up. And if I have like a shoot coming, I'll bring them along. Or like when I can't do a certain job because I get hit up a lot, I have like a network of filmmakers and photographers that I'll send them either in my place, or I'll just refer the person to them, basically.
Gotcha. So basically, like building up that network frees you up to do the things that you really want to do. But at the same time, you're giving these people the opportunities to build their own dreams. Even if it's using your platform.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
We have one question from Candidly Kate. She wants to know, what's a dream brand you would like to collab with and why?
Dream brand. Man, what's a dream brand that I would like to collaborate with? That's a great question. Let me think. I think, there's so many good brands. What brand? I want see in my head. I'm thinking like Nike or Apple or something like that. But yeah, I'm just gonna say that. That's
put it out there.
Down in the atmosphere, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot an amazing like sports commercial. You know, like I don't really have a. So here's my answer. I don't really have a preference for a brand. It's really the type of content. So so it's like, you know, I just want to create commercial content. So it could be for Mercedes, it could be for Kia, it could be for, you know, the Subaru still exists. I don't even know.
Yeah, they have commercials. They have all those little heartfelt commercials with
yeah,
the
you know, as long as,
it's cute. It's cute.
yeah, as long as it's like for like you know, like because these certain car brands or certain brands period have certain budgets, and it's not so much that I'm looking for more money, but I'm looking for more money to be able to create the vision that's in my head, basically.
Right.
And so like when you work with these bigger companies, they have a budget for advertising, and it's a huge budget because that's it works. Advertising works. And so when they need to do video shoots, they'll have thousands of dollars available, and they'll throw it at one project. And now you have the money to, first of all, use the dream camera you want to use, or shoot in the location that you want to shoot at. And so yeah, you know, I've been trying to kind of like build. You know, I haven't shot like a car commercial yet, but one way to get that is to actually just shoot one on my own and just put it out there, and then a brand will see it. So that's how I kind of ended up with like shooting like either certain celebrities or certain brands, is that I just basically shot like my own content or my own like little thing, and I just kind of put it out there, and I would use my hashtags and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then, you know, once those specific brands or people are looking for a certain thing, they'll type it in and you'll pop up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a tip for all of you watching who are trying to get into this space.
That is a good strategy.
Make a note of that strategy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so my answer is like no specific brand, just like I just want to be able to shoot like the type of content that just allows me to kind of be free and limitless and just create what's in my head, basically. You know what I mean? But definitely in the commercial realm. Yeah.
Awesome.
Somebody posted, "I'll be the model in your car commercial." That's good. That's good.
That's really funny. We're getting a lot of engagement, a lot of questions in the comment section. So I hope you don't mind. You know,
I don't mind. I love it.
Staying here with us.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna ask this one from Sarah again.
I love the support. I love it.
Sister wants to know, what project are you the most proud of?
What project am I the most proud of? I would say my short film, if you want to call it that. But it was basically like a project that I did. I guess, was it during quarantine? Yeah, I guess I finished it during quarantine. Yeah, it was during quarantine. It was a project that I did because like, you know, when I first started, people would be like, "Oh, you're gonna be creating movies next," and I'd be like, "No way, I'm just shooting videos." And then, you know, the more you do this, you do start getting like that itch to create some type of a film.
Right.
And, so I created like a little film, but the reason why I called it a film is because it wasn't one of those things where I just shot it in one day and then edited it. Like I shot it over like a course of like 7 days, and then I pieced it together, basically. And one thing when I shoot, like, at least for me, like one thing when I shoot is like, if it's something that I feel that it's going to be amazing, I kind of get impatient to edit it. So I kind of edit it and put it out. But this was like the first time where I kind of had to like, just like be patient, because I knew like there was something else that I can add to it to make it better. Yeah. And it ended up turning out pretty good. It got a great response. And,
what kind of video was it? Like, tell us the details.
Yeah, so it was like a film where like I just made it to empower our Black women, basically. Because I just first of all, I love those type of videos when I see them, and then like I just feel like with our culture, as Black people, like we just create dope visuals, especially with like what's involved in our culture with the garments and the hairstyles and stuff. It just comes together to create something beautiful visually. For example, like Beyonce's Black is King, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know as a Venice, like a lot of them probably didn't watch it. But
No,
me,
they watch it.
but me, I watched it because like I was so intrigued by the art.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
it was wonderful. Yeah, it was pretty
yeah,
good.
and it was actually part of what motivated me to create what I created, because I was like, I just want to create a bunch of like her video was like, it was just a bunch of different frames that were just art. It was just you could just put like one single frame of her videos, just single frame, and just look at it, and you just appreciate it. So that's what I just love that about her and Solange. Like when they create stuff, it's
definitely that's the effect that Beyonce has. Like everything she touches is basically moving art.
Exactly. So that was my goal. It was to create like every frame that I captured, I wanted it to be something that was like kind of breathtaking and didn't require the model or the person to have to move too much. It just like you just see it and it's just beautiful and you just appreciate that alone. But then when you add like the sound effects and the and then like some spoken word, which I ended up doing myself, which when I listened to myself on it, it's like I could have gotten somebody else to do it.
Nobody likes to hear their own self.
Nobody does.
Nobody.
But that's that impatience that I was talking about, like where it could have been better if I like waited to find that right person to put the voiceover on. But I had reached a point where I'm like, okay, I got all the visuals together.
Yeah.
I just want to put this out now. And and I had reached out to somebody to do it, and she was willing to do it. But you know, people are busy, and I wasn't trying to wait 2 weeks. So I'm just like, let me just do it myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody can see there on the screen. This is the way you can go ahead and contact Dexter. He's on Instagram with Dexterity Productions. He also has his website, dexterityproductions.com, and also the second part of his business, gethitchedforever.com. So those are the ways you guys can contact him. There was another question. Suri Haiti.
So many questions in the chat.
I know. Suri Haiti, is there anyone you look to for inspiration?
That's a good question.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, there is this one specific photographer, and I'm bringing them up because he's Haitian.
Okay.
But on Instagram, his name is Orinary. It's spelled ORINARY.
Okay.
And I didn't follow him because he was Haitian. It wasn't even nothing like that. Like when you see this guy's work, you're just like, whoa. And I think that's what happened. I saw like a picture of his, and I'm like, wow. Clicked on it. Turns out it's this Haitian dude, and he is not only killing the game. He lives in LA and shoots for I
gotta find him.
The best of brands. You know, I'll share with you guys when we get here. The best of brands, the biggest, some of the biggest celebrities he shot, just because his work is just that great. And and so he's definitely one of the people that motivate me.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I got local friends of mine, or colleagues or business. I don't even know what the word, associates. There we go. Business associates that I connect with, that they motivate me, and we're not in the same field, but it's just their motivation, how hard they work. Definitely motivates me.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone that's starting a business in your field? If you can, tell them what you wish you knew when you were starting out, if you could pass that on to someone.
What I wish I knew, I wish I put myself out there sooner. That's number one. I also would say, when you first start out, you're gonna get people to be like, "Oh wow, that's a dope camera," and it'll make you feel this type of way because you're like, it's not about the camera, you know what I mean? Because as a photographer, it's about the light. What makes a good photo is actually the light. I mean, you got to use the camera, but you also have to know how to angle the person in the right light, or how to use flash to just bring out the best in the image, basically. And so you'll get people to say things like that that'll bring you down, but you just got to keep your head up about that.
Okay.
Another thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help. You know what I mean? To ask questions that you don't know. You know what I mean? Because I would say that definitely helped me learn even faster. When I was kind of stuck, I would ask a question, and then that person might give me like part of the answer that I needed, and then I would just go and learn more about it, basically. And what else about this field? I would say that's about it. Other than what I mentioned earlier, like if you're really gonna do it, you definitely got to be organized and just put yourself out there and just ignore the haters and just do it.
Take note, guys.
Take notes. All right, man. I wish we had more time to just sit here and continue chatting up about this, man. Some good information.
With all of our guests, I feel like we could sit here
continue
and
going on, just sit down for a couple of more hours.
So do you want to do some fun questions, Rich?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if you've seen the previous episodes, but with everyone, we've been doing these rapid fire questions.
Yeah. Okay.
They're supposed to be like off the top of the head answers for you. Like, don't think too hard about them.
Okay.
They're pretty much like fun questions. All right. Okay. So what's your guilty pleasure?
Ice cream.
Okay.
Flavor?
Man, I like ice cream so much. I don't have a favorite flavor. Like I have flavors that I don't like, but I don't have a favorite flavor. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. What would you be doing on a perfect day?
Sitting on the beach on an island.
Nice.
I'll be there soon though.
Okay. Cool. Okay. What's a request that you often get in your profession that annoys you?
Yeah, I know you said rapid fire.
Yeah, I was like, don't think too hard. What's the question that people keep asking you? Like, why do they keep asking you this? What kind of request is this?
Man, people will ask me. Man, I get so many funky requests. It's I guess when they ask me if I can do two things at the same time.
Okay.
Like I'll say that, and then this is not really like a bad thing, but people always ask me if I can like alter body parts and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the thing now.
Which I can do. I can.
Well, do you do it if they ask for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It all depends on the photo, but if it's something that'll make them feel better, then I do it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's about the client, so
yeah.
Right.
Okay. So you mentioned that, you play the bass. We know this about you. Is there another talent that you have that most people don't know?
No.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't think so.
Okay. What's the first thing you do when you get out of bed?
I'll be on my phone. It's bad.
Yeah,
I'll be on my phone.
Do it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to break out of that habit.
All right. What's the last TV show you binged and loved?
Last TV show I binged. I should know this. I watched a lot of the WandaVision.
Yes. Okay.
WandaVision.
That was good. That was very
good.
Yeah, and to add a few more. What was that? I'm forgetting the first part of the name. It's Hutcherson or
Bridgerton?
Bridgerton,
yeah.
That one was good.
Bridgerton.
I think I watched that one in like 2 days.
Oh man, that's such a good show.
Really good.
Bridgerton, WandaVision. So many good shows out right now. Like crazy.
Okay. What's a misconception that people often have about you?
I don't know. Maybe that I'm not approachable. Maybe I don't know. I think I think I think people sometimes they'll see that I'm busy and that I have my brand, and so if they're trying to start a business themselves and if they're into photography, they might be scared to ask me because they think I won't answer. But I'm actually one of those people that I love to answer and help you. I might be basing myself to be fully hands-on, but if you got questions, like I love helping people basically.
Awesome.
That goes, yeah.
That's awesome. All right. And it's getting late over on the East Coast, I know. So
it is.
I'm always up until 2 editing, so I'll be
okay. Yeah, so we gotta let you go. I know it's almost
yeah.
9 o'clock over there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost 9. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
crawling up there. Man,
Yeah.
it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure, Jonathan, to sit down here and chat with you tonight. We want to say thank you for taking out the time, because I know you busy. You was crazy busy, especially doing our text messages. I was like, bro,
my bad, bro.
no, you good, man. You good. I knew you was gonna be busy, because Unz was like, you gotta text him quick, because he's gonna be busy. He's gonna be busy.
When you get my attention, you gotta keep it, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm bad.
It's much pleasure. It was great talking with you, getting to get inside of your brain. And for those who are interested in photography or being filmmakers, man, just save this video, share it. And there's a lot of helpful tips in here. So everybody that did come out and watched us live and had asked those questions, thank you again for joining us. Don't forget, we're here every second and fourth
Wednesday.
Yep, every second and fourth Wednesday. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for joining The Journey Live, and we will see you in the next episode.
All right. Later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.